So let's see. Okay, great. I think we are live already. No? Uh yeah, let me just double check. Yeah, I think we are live. Onya kanang just for everyone checking out the Facebook live stream of 032 Conversations. Welcome. Thank you for listening. If you're catching this later on, you can watch this anytime again, or we will release it in 032 Conversations, the podcast on 032.com. Our guest today is Fleire Castro, a digital marketing consultant, mentor, trainer, advocate, and CEO and managing founder of Third Team Media, a boutique social media and digital agency. How are you, Fleire?
Hi. Great, good. Carlo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Like with this whole pandemic and all the changes and everything,
I
how are
know.
things? Can more daghan kay changes ba?
Yeah, there were a lot of changes. I mean, starting March, we were so chill, January, Feb, but then these things happened so quick and everyone had to, you know, step up with whatever they're doing. And yeah, definitely been very busy in the past 2 months. Yeah. So that's both with work and personal things at home.
Yeah, I know. Like for us, like kanang we had to do so many things. All of a sudden, we're homeschooling our kids. I'm doing these
Yeah.
interviews live on Facebook Live, online. Like it has all of these different challenges, ba? No.
That's
Uh,
true.
Yeah, I remember working with you for the first time. Katong we did that bazaar in the outlets in Pueblo Verde, no? Unya,
Yeah, I remember that.
oh, I have to say it was a good experience. Kanang it was good working with you for that, no? Uh
Well, yeah, thank you for being our media partner. I know we've worked on, I think that was the outlets, diba? When they had their openings, when they had their sale. You were the one that we first tapped in order to help cover some of the events that they had. So yeah, it was fun
no, but we
times, and
did
we still
we
had
did
that account.
yeah, no, but you did that remember that bazaar katong you helped us out a little bit. We organized that bazaar gani unya. I don't know if you can recall, it was like a Christmas bazaar. And then I remember gani nga we like once the bazaar is going and it's just running, it's a lot of just downtime. And I remember we like chilled out in your office, started playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. I remember that. It was so fun. I was so surprised when you said that you were playing Magic too, and you were like, "Yeah, we have cards. Let's play."
Well, I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
play. That was really I really enjoyed doing that before, back then when I was like younger. But I was really excited to see that you guys were playing, and you actually, I think you invited people over. Yeah, there was a
I
whole bunch
know,
of
I
you.
know. Yeah, just in time. I guess you visited during the time when we had people over, Magiceros, diba? We had fellow Magic players visit, and you were there too. You see how geeky we are, which is actually a good thing because during the crisis or lockdown here at home, it's one thing that we've been doing with the family. We've been playing Magic a lot. We've been playing board games, so it's in our DNA to check out these kinds of fun stuff while we are locked down. Yeah, so hope you're playing too. Are you playing Magic with your kids?
No, I don't have any cards. I used to play kind of Hearthstone.
Online, no, the online version,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
but
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Like, this pandemic, but it has given, like, so many people have had to change the way they do things, and that's a
true.
big reason why I wanted to ask you for this interview. Okay, I think, diba, you
Yeah,
work with a lot of businesses, like small businesses in particular, diba?
yeah. I mean, businesses, they're hard hit. I mean, I understand that because we're helping them out. Most of my clients for 30 Media are actually local clients. So we had, I guess, like 90% local clients and then 10% international. But during the pandemic, some of them have actually had to call off the contract. So they said, we have to stop. We're not running anything here. Everything's totally shut down. So it doesn't make sense if we still, you know, continue with the contract. So they were like, okay, maybe we can pick up after all these quarantine, shuts down, everything's done, we can go back to working as normal. But right now, they just can't. They just can't continue doing marketing. But then, um, with that, there are actually a couple of clients that came in for us, especially because of the pandemic, which is really interesting because you would think that there's nothing happening during the pandemic. People are like just like lying low and making sure that they hold on to the whatever cash they have, whatever resource. But there are actually businesses who are very brave. So I would say brave because you don't invest in something um, really novel or something new that you don't know what's going to happen if you launch something. So with the pandemic, you've seen a lot of businesses or like micro entrepreneurs. They're bringing out their skills in baking, in cooking, and then offering it as a service or like a product to the rest of the people or the community. So these are really interesting times. You can take a look at that as an example of how businesses are coping with this crisis that we have. Yeah.
I'm curious. So who has who has reached out to you? You don't have to be specific now if you don't want to, but like what what industry kanang has like reached out in a sense nga murag you know, asking for those like kanang marketing services.
Yes. So naturally, those who stopped or like paused the contract with us, they are from the travel and the tourism industry because nothing is happening in that part of the niche, diba? But there are the new contracts that we had. They came from retail and they came from the food businesses, which makes sense because these are the things that are still moving along while the crisis is happening. Everyone wants to buy, let's say, mobile devices just to connect with their friends and family while they are locked down. They want to play games, they want to watch movies. So retail is there. Yeah, you need to be able to sell mobile devices. So that we have that. And then another one was from the food industry. So they
Mm-hmm.
want to still continue serving their clientele. They want to still continue offering their products despite just doing takeout or delivery or pickup services. So those are the two, I would say, fields that needed our services during this time. So yeah, we were out there, we're helping them out. And one thing that you have to also note when working right now during the pandemic is that you have to be really flexible, especially when you're offering services to people who, or like to businesses who are so unsure and they don't really know, we don't really know what's going to happen like the next 30 days or the next 2 months, no?
We
So,
don't even know what's gonna happen in the next 4 days.
exactly.
You
We
know?
don't even know what's going to happen next week. Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's something that we are doing right now. We're really hands on. We have to talk to them often. We would say something like, okay, you want this up on your page, we want to be able to have this reach a lot more of our fans or audiences or potential customers. And then they would say, okay, we have that scheduled. And then they would suddenly say, okay, can you take that down because things have changed, there's ECQ, there's GCQ, whatever. So it's not going to work anymore. So you have to be really, really flexible and have to respond as real time as you can, which is totally different from how we're handling or how we're managing the accounts for our clients before the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think before, because like uh I think so like kami like what I do is I do a little bit of consulting also, and then a lot of times
Yeah.
before you could just strategize and then execute well
Mm.
beforehand, like maybe like you can have a month's worth of planning
Yeah,
ahead of
exactly.
time. And then now, in terms of the marketing, now it's just like, okay, this thing happened, we have to change it right away. And then it's really different now. And then i think
Yeah.
i think more than
Yeah.
ever, that's why I wanted to talk to you also, because before, you kind of had to sell the idea of marketing to a lot of these local companies also, diba? Like a small businesses especially. Like you had to
Yeah.
sell the
True.
idea of like social media marketing, that thing, that sort of thing. But like now it's the only thing that you can do marketing wise at this point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could see that, even media companies, even broadcast companies, they are already on social media. So I would say the whole thing changed. The game changed online, especially on social media. Everyone now is on Facebook, which is the top social media channels of us Filipinos. So now you're not just competing with other brands, you're also competing with the media companies because they have their own Facebook Live. You're competing with the government. They have their own Facebook Live, like every 4 o'clock, every 12 p.m., every 12 a.m., with the president. So everyone is jam packed into one social media platform. You're trying to figure out who to listen to, like aside from your friends, your family, aside from the brands you're following, aside from the government. You now have a whole stream of other, let's say, groups. Like there are groups coming up right now. There are, what do you call that, like marketplaces that are coming up, and then on top of that you have a whole host of learning sessions because everyone wants to help everyone, right? So now there are, like, let's say, webinars or talks or online events. So it's a very busy time on social media. So now that's the challenge for brands because we now have to figure out how to really capture attention, right? We're competing. So how do you gain more like eyeballs for your own personal updates or for your pages updates? Yeah, that's really going to be challenging. It's a challenging time. Yep.
And yeah, another challenging thing is you're working from home and then your kid just walks in on you
And
while
that
you're
one
doing
too.
that.
That one too. Yeah.
Huh?
I have my kid locked down inside his room just so I could do this.
Yeah, my kid,
Hi, baby.
unfortunately, his mom right now is out doing some errands. So, Matty, you can say hi. No,
Hi.
this is one of the
Hi, baby.
challenges. Oh, okay, Matty, please don't
Yeah.
touch the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah.
Here, here. Give me a
Yeah.
second, Flair, huh? I
Yeah.
instructed.
No worries.
Unfortunately, I don't. I think it would be a bad idea to lock the
That's
door
really
on them
cute.
because they will just knock and cry. No, here you go. Oop, that's here. Can you go outside, please? Oh my God, this is gonna take a while.
That's mine.
What do you do? What do you do when your kid needs your attention?
I make faces. Like I stare at him, and then he would know that I'm up to something. Like, you
Oh,
keep
yeah,
quiet. You go back to
he's
your
much
room.
older. He's much older, Mandy, I know.
I would be like staring at him. Like,
He's much old.
he would know.
Your kid's much older. This guy is 2 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's like a
That,
preteen. Sorry, he's a
no,
teenager right now, so he knows. He knows when
that's
I'm
so,
mad.
that's so cool, man. Because I saw that you have like he posted like you were like helping him like with a webinar. Let me see how it was. How to publish your book
Yeah.
on Amazon Kindle. That is really cool.
Yes. It's his first time. He's gonna be a first timer running a webinar. So he was like, "Mom, can you help me? I mean, when are we going to do the webinar?" And I was like, "I'm still busy right now. We're trying to promote the e-commerce summit, e-commerce entrepreneur summit, which is really fun because just yesterday, we were able to announce that Globe, my business, is one of our major sponsors. So it's a huge thing. And on top of that, he was like, "Mom, when is my webinar?" So I had to insert that somewhere in my post and say something like, "Guys, help me out. My kid wants to do his own webinar right now." So yeah, I had that launch like a couple of days ago. It's pretty fun. A lot of people confirmed, and then there were sponsors. They committed to sponsoring his event. So yeah, it's going to be a fun first time for him. Yeah,
No, that's really cool. Okay, like we're talking about these things that all of these new things that are happening, but for
that's
me
true.
also doing doing these podcasts
Mm-mm.
online, doing it live. Previously, I used to just meet with somebody. Yep, there's my other kid. Okay, but my other kid found a dead butterfly.
The
Anyway,
kids are fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're 2 years old, 2 and 4. So
Yeah, they're cute. Fun. It's a good time to make memories with them right
hmm,
now, right? You should
oh
invite them to
yeah.
your podcast.
Well, they're invited without being invited. No, but that's the for like Cannibal, like this whole podcast. I used to like invite people. We'd go to a place, we'd sit down, and then really talk face to face. And then
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
and now that we have this challenge of course, the pandemic. So I decided, okay, how can we take advantage of this? We started doing the FB live, and then
that's true.
it's pretty good. So like, and then
Yeah,
Cannibal, like, and then like you guys are doing I mean, I can't imagine that your kid is doing a webinar. That is so cool. He must be like 12 years old or something.
he's 13. He's 13
13.
actually.
See?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's one thing that he really wanted to do. Well, he was invited as a speaker just last year with Hannah. I know you know Hannah Mora, right? She put together this event. It was for kids, by kids, and most of the speakers during that event for the kids were like about his age. They had different skills, they had different talents. So he was the one doing the writing, and another one was doing a rubric, and then another one was I forgot, like really cool animation stuff. So these talented kids, Hannah pulled them together and had them talk about their skills, how they started, what their plans are in their future, if they're still going to do something like that. But ayun nga, it is really fun. Right now, he wants to do the actual webinar, which I'm really concerned because it's going to be his first time. And then he wants to charge for it. Imagine that. So I was saying, you know what? The
Smart
webinars right
kid.
now, yeah, I know that the webinars right now, they're mostly free. And it's something that's also new. Because last year, when we were doing the Mastering Social Media campaigns with Miss Janet Toral, she's my mentor from Manila, we were putting together, last September 2019, we put together the Mastering Social Media campaigns. It's a webinar series, but we charged people for that. But right now, when you look online, when you look at your stream on Facebook, on your news feed, you're going to see a lot of webinars that are mostly free. So now we're competing with free webinars versus the one that we have right now, which is paid. And when my kid learned that, okay, you have your webinar paid, I want mine too. I want people to pay for my webinar. And mostly because he knows the effort in putting together content. It's not a hard, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. I know you know that with the podcast that you have. I mean, you've done how many? Like 100+
A
interviews,
hundred plus at
right?
this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun thing that you're doing with Zerothreetwo conversations, and I really admire that. But the effort behind that, right? You have to do the actual interviews, which last you like 1 to 2 hours, and then you have to do some editing in the back end before you actually upload. So all this effort in being a content creator,
A
my
lot
son
less
knows
than you
that.
think, honestly.
You know,
But
right?
yeah, a
I
little
mean,
bit.
yeah, yeah, it's fun to do, but it's also like the effort put in for that. And my son knows that. He knows the effort in putting together this whole content and how to publish your book on Amazon. And people are interested actually. Like most of the people who sign up are adults. You know, there are barely any kids who signed up, which makes sense because of course, you know, kids, we don't expect kids to pay online. So now these are like millennials and Gen X, I guess, Gen X who signed up because they wanted to know how to write a book. They wanted to know how to publish a book on Amazon. So they said,
Pero
well, you
kana,
know, yeah, I mean, if a 10-year-old, he started when he was 10 years old. So if a 10-year-old could do this, why can't I? That was their challenge. That's why they wanted to
yeah.
see, they wanted to sign up for the webinar and learn from him and hear from him. Yeah.
Pero kana ba, I'll push back on a little bit. So
Yep.
there's a lot of like free webinars now or free, content. But the the ones that like as soon as you pay for it, you take it seriously. You'll take it more seriously. Like kanang I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you maybe you've paid for a webinar before. Like if you paid for something, then that's your follow through. Your follow through is there, but you're more invested in it. And in the end, it becomes a lot more
True.
effective than a lot of the free ones, diba?
Yeah, it makes sense too. Because, for example, if I see on my email, like there's an email blast, and then I see it on my inbox, it says like, okay, free webinar, sign up here. If I see that, I mean, I'm gonna forget that I signed up for something, especially if it's free. But if
Mm.
I invested a certain amount for it, I would totally remember it. I put it in my calendar. I'd make sure that I show up on time, and make sure that I have the link, and I make sure that I can take down notes on what I was doing. What the lessons are for that a webinar. So yeah, I agree with you. If you invest,
Oh, okay, we got cut off. So what's gonna happen is this is the problem uh, when we do these things when it is online. So sometimes you have some technical difficulties. Oh, she's back.
yeah. So
All
yan,
right, here we are.
that's also one thing kasi challenging yung internet connection natin here in the Philippines, which is one thing that I really am passionate about. I had a petition for people to sign up to sign so that we can push through with the open access bill, open data access. I think that was the
Hmm.
name of the bill in the Congress, so that we can have more options for internet connection. So yeah, that's also one thing that we are really challenged right now as Filipinos. It's our internet connection. So
Yeah,
sorry for
especially
being
with the
cut off.
usage. Oh, no, no problem. It's not your fault. That's my kid coming in.
Oo.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Ayan.
Like, it's gonna happen. No,
Yeah, we
but
can't do
you
anything,
mentioned.
right?
I know. Yeah, you mentioned the e-commerce entrepreneur summit. So wala pa na. That's still
Yeah.
happening. That
Yep.
didn't. That's not done. That's still happening. You wanna plug that a little bit? What is it exactly and
Yeah,
when?
sure. If you'd allow me, yes. The
Sure, of course.
e-commerce entrepreneur summit, yes, it's happening every Friday of June. That's 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We have a learning session of worth 2 hours, so people can sign up for that. It's on bit.ly.com/ecom summit Cebu. So when they go there, they can see the agenda for every single day. So we finished our first session last Friday. It covered retailers and e-payments. That was the topic last Friday. This Friday, which is tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., we are going to talk about social media and services. That's why I was so excited to be with you in this interview so that we can like chat more about that before I go online tomorrow at
So
the summit. So that's going to be session 2.
if somebody wants to
Yep.
check it out, where do they go? Like what website?
Yeah, they can go to bit.ly.com/ecom summit Cebu. Yeah,
Ecom
that's
Summit Cebu. Okay.
bit.ly.com/ecom summit Cebu. Or they can add me on Facebook and then they can see my plug all over my page. Yeah, that's the only talk about right now. It's really the ecom summit. Yep.
So
And
it's a
we're
lot
pretty
of
much
like.
excited because it's not just I mean, it's not just social media topics, but the next Friday, there's going to be a whole set of topics, different one, up until the last Friday of June. So there's a lot of learning sessions that we will have within this month. So yeah,
So
exciting times.
I hope you don't mind if we dip into a little bit into that. No, like maybe we can get a hint of what to expect in the summit. Maybe just by answering some questions, ba? No. So
Yeah, sure.
parang- so for example, like let's say you have a client, and then because like right now there's the pandemic, but the reality is there's some changes because of the pandemic. So there's a lot of uncertainty moving forward, but the basics probably stay the same, right? So let's say you have a client. What is their usual social media challenges, man? Especially for somebody like a small business or something.
Yeah, actually we have been in the industry for 10 years already. The things that we're doing since I started educating the local entrepreneurs. So instead of just offering my services to, let's say, clients, international clients, the one thing that made me different from other service providers is really to go for the local clients because they need help. Everyone needs help with their social media. They just don't know it. So across the 10 years, I've been doing trainings, I've been doing consulting, educating them. So the usual thing that we're offering to them is really the management of their social media accounts. So when you say management, it involves producing their content, it involves managing their ads, because some of the traditional business owners, they're not really techie. So they would approach me, they would ask something like, okay, you're doing social media, how can we benefit from that, how can we do that for our business? So they get in touch with me and then they say, how can we get started, what's the what is this all about? Basically, that's what they're asking. Because they've seen brands, they've seen bigger brands do it on social media. Now they want that same success. They want to copy that and do the same thing for their small business, so for the MSMEs. So how we approach that is that we say something like, okay, hey, you need help with promoting your business online. You've done it for radio, you've done it for print, but you haven't invested anything on digital yet. So the low hanging fruit for digital, aside from making your website, because the whole hype back then was really creating a website, right? So when you say
Uh-huh.
digital, it usually means website. But now we can say something like, okay, you have a website ready. How about we put together your social media presence? So they say, okay, social media. So what is that? So we say social media is where the people are, and that's where your potential clients are. Your potential customers would be. So we show them that, okay, out of 100 million Filipinos, like 70% of us have access to Facebook. So potentially your target customer could be there on Facebook. You just don't know how to get in touch with them. You don't know how to
Oops, got cut off again. Basically, she's saying that we have to stay on social media, and Facebook really is one of the biggest social media platforms. You might find like Instagram, even TikTok, a little bit sexy, but the truth is, a lot of people are on Facebook. Everything, all of the stuff that we do, like a lot of what I do, like this webinar, like this conversation is on Facebook. Hey, fair. So the first thing is you usually jump to like, well, like Facebook is one of the biggest, no, of course, in terms of social
yes,
media, no.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but like social media is a lot like like a place to hang out. So the people who hang out on Facebook tend to be different from the people who hang out on Instagram, and then they
that is true.
usually uh like they engage with different types of content, no.
That is true. Yeah. So
And
really the thing that you want to do as a business owner is to profile your buyer persona, to put together your buyer persona. We always start with that, and then we ask them, who is your target audience, and what are they all about? What are they interested in? What are some things that they potentially would like also on social media? Because that's where they would hang out. And then you would say, okay, maybe the people on Facebook are just mostly the millennials, no? So if your brand is targeting millennials, most probably you have to use a platform like Facebook. But if you're doing something like an international education school, you're offering your courses to people outside of the Philippines, of course you have to use another platform for that. Maybe you can take a look at, let's say, Google Ads. It has a bigger reach, although it is more expensive than Facebook ads. So it's really like playing around on which platform would be best for a certain client or for a certain brand. Yeah.
mm, yeah, so like kind of when a lot of small businesses when do you still get a little pushback in a sense from like because they ask you, so how do I get my I forgot the term of this, like they'll be like, oh, how do I know that if I spend 100 pesos on ads I get this much on
Yeah.
revenue, like some sort of ROI? Do you still get that sort of pushback? Because um
Well,
or
that's a good.
or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That
or is it like, is it apparent at this point nga it's not, because it's very difficult to measure
quantify. Yeah. Mhm.
actual revenue from social media unless you have an online store and you focus on the
Yeah.
online store, no.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. You got that right. Regarding pushbacks, just recently, actually yesterday, I was asked, okay, we're pitching our consulting. I was pitching my consulting, and then they asked something like, okay, what are your metrics? What are your KPI in order to handle our project? So, are we going to be expecting leads? Are we going to be expecting views? So, it basically boils down to how you're educating your potential customers or how you're educating your clients. So, I usually tell them that I don't want you to expect so much from social media because in the first place it is a brand awareness platform. Okay,
Mm.
so it is a top of funnel platform. The approach there involves increasing your reach, increasing your impressions. So reach and impressions are the very basic KPIs when you're talking about brand awareness. So it's the number of people who are on your channel, the number of people who have seen your post. And when we say post, it's not just one update. It's like uh, the multiple updates that you post every week, right? So I usually tell them that it's a brand awareness platform. You don't expect the full funnel for it unless you are investing in an amount of ads that could hit the different uh, the different touch points where they are in their journey, because it can also be a lead generation platform. Social media can also be a lead generation platform, but you have to know how to invest in the proper setup of your ads, the proper investment or the budget for your ads. That goes to Facebook, of course. It goes straight to Mark Zuckerberg. It doesn't go to the agency. So you have to understand where they are in their journey and try to hit them in the right places. So, like at the start of the journey, it's more like telling them who you are, what are your products, in like really introducing yourself. And then in the middle of your journey, of their journey, you give them options like, okay, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? This is how we're better than the competitor. This is how this product is better than that product. So you educate them, and then at the end of the funnel, you start pitching. So you start giving them offers like coupons, or you start giving them a discount code, because you want to move them from the top of the funnel going down. So when you say going down, it's like at the bottom of the funnel where they start to really purchase and make the decision to buy your products or to avail of your services. So it's a whole there's magic happening, I would say, in a buyer's journey. But just to get started, we really have to educate our client that it's a brand awareness platform. We don't expect them to say now, okay, we invested 1,000 pesos this week. Where's my sale? Diba? They would immediately ask something like that. But if you educate them at the start that it's really like a funnel approach and a buyer journey approach, they would understand that it doesn't immediately happen. It takes time. It takes time to grow.
Yeah, and then I also think, like, I mean, it works. Like, generally speaking, if you have a, good social media, it does work. Like,
Yeah,
it it really does get in front of people, and some sort of repetitiveness, and even just a reminder, like, especially if there's a product that you really like, for example,
that's true.
diba? No,
Mm-mm.
so I know at least for me, like, in terms of like coffee, or even there's a there's a beer that I like, and it's called Turning Wheels. And then,
Oh,
when it was ECQ and it was lockdown, of course you couldn't really get beer. No, yeah,
oh, it's
they were
hard.
not
It's hard.
really. Yeah, so the guy, the owner of Three, he'd post every now and then. I was like, you know what? As soon as I can go there, I'm going to, like, I know when it's working. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. It
And
makes you long for something. It makes you look forward to something. And that's what we're doing on social media. It's like teasing them to eventually make that purchase, to eventually make that decision to buy. Yun yung role ng social media.
yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for that owner to know that that particular post is what compelled me to go to his shop and order. No, there's no way for him to know that. That's one of the hard sells when talking to clients in terms of like social media marketing and putting up content, because it really is, as you know, a lot of work to do, diba?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like how you pointed out that it's a lot of work, because it really is. I mean, managing it on behalf of brands, it's more challenging than really doing it for your own personal profile. I mean, look at it this way. If you post on your personal profile, all you have to do is really think like, what am I thinking right now? Am I thinking of
Hmm.
posting my lunch? Like a while ago, I posted about my first Starbucks purchase just after 2 months
Oh, I saw
of
that.
being in quarantine. It was my first time, so it's easy to post something like that because it's a personal update. But if you do that on behalf of brands, what are the things that you prepare? You have to understand their buyer. You have to understand where they are, their buyer's journey, like where they are in their purchase. Do they still need to be aware of the brand before they make the purchase? Where are they? And then you have to understand the product itself. I mean, what are you selling? What are the features of this product? How
And
is it
the
different
brand.
from other brands? So there's a whole lot of effort that you put in just to put an update in behalf of a client. So they just don't know how hard it is, to be honest. That's on top of the production work that you have to do, put together the graphics, you have to put together the caption, and then you have to monitor, like, okay, is this getting likes, is this getting traction, should I boost it, should I just post another update? All these things have to consider just to do it for a brand. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
so much effort.
it's hard. Yeah, like so my mom, so she's in the travel industry, and as you know, right now the travel industry is basically on pause, right? So
Yeah, that's true. Hard
mm,
times. Yep.
yeah, so my mom started, kadang, she's the type because she's not gonna be able to sit still and not do anything. So so
Hmm.
she started selling these like Italian products, kind of like food products,
Wow.
cheeses, wines, ano ba, no? And
Ah,
then
that's interesting. Mm.
yeah, but it's so much fun kay like lingaw kayo because here's my other kid. L- Lingaw kayo because I have to make the social media material for her.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
you can see her, and I'm trying to teach her, and you can see her struggling because it's not easy
Ah,
producing all those things.
that is true. It's not really easy. Like, I understand where you're coming from, like, about your mom,
Diba?
because I also tried to educate my mom about what I do, because she always says, "Okay, I really don't understand what you're doing with social media. I want to help you. I want to get clients for you, but you have to school me because I don't understand." So, it's really interesting what she's doing, because she's trying to join all my webinars. In fact, I believe she is tuning in right now just to understand what I'm doing.
Oh,
And I love the effort. Hi, mom. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, it's a hard thing to sell to them what how social media can help. So yeah, it's really cute that they're trying, but we really have to help them out too.
yeah. But I don't have to sell the idea to my mom. Like she knows that it's working.
Oh,
She's
that's
actually
good.
very yeah. No, she's doing okay. she she's one of
Hopefully,
the
she's
she's
gonna sell a lot. Uh.
yeah. Some na ilang like their seniors is like Gen X na ba na sila? Gen X ba na? I don't know what that
I think they're the boomers.
boomers
I
are.
don't
So
know.
she's one of those boomers who's like active on Facebook, you know?
Ah, she's techie enough. That's good. That's
Yes,
good.
yes. Yeah, but like we make her like we the production of like the graphics and stuff, so yeah, I just use Canva. And
Ah,
then
wow. Oh my gosh,
uh
that's higher level. She knows how to
I
do
really well yes,
Canva.
I well
Amazing.
I've been teaching her. There's
Kaya pala,
some
no? Ah,
yeah, but there's some struggles, but also she's doing quite well. Like she's figured it out na ba. So, but yeah,
oh,
wala nag-post
oh,
ko siya ka ng mga material and then it's been fun seeing her do it. Act fun and a little frustrating if I'm going to be a bit honest, no? So it's
yeah,
interesting.
actually, that's true. They're actually lucky to have us, because we can, like, start telling them how to actually do social media. I believe our generations were the first one to say, okay, this is how you turn on a computer. This is how you restart it or reboot it. But now what we're doing is, like, we're telling them that, hey, social media works. This is how you do it. This is how you gain sales from social.
Yeah, so going back, yeah, especially now that you know, it people are just going to be a lot of people are not going out. Like they don't like I don't want to go inside a mall, for example. Like I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to go
Ah,
inside the
true.
supermarket unless I have to, 'di ba? So
Yeah, yeah, it's hard.
so aside from just like what's man like if you have like a brand come in or a small business, is it as easy as just saying, you just have to be out there on social media, or is there some like considering the quote unquote new normal ba? No?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, on our blog, I actually published some other pivot options for businesses, because it was interesting to see how things have changed. Like, for example, the Plantation Bay, diba? I don't know if you've seen their post, but they said something like, okay, since we're not getting any guests, how about we take in some seniors who want to have a place to stay while they're here in the Philippines. So they put up themselves as parang they branded themselves like a retirement home, something like that. I'm not
Mm.
sure. I'll have to check that out later. But they had to pivot. They had to change their business models because what the new normal has is not something that we are used to before. So we have to innovate. A lot of businesses are trying to change things up or mix things up so that they will still become relevant with the current pandemic that we have. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't catch that. So Plantation Bay marketed themselves now as like some sort of kanang what was the word that you used? Did you say retirement or
Yeah, I think it was something related to seniors and then like
Hmm.
having a place to stay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's how they changed up
Do you have another
their.
example of like some sort of businesses that were forced to pivot? Like I know like for example like Plantation Bay, they're in the travel industry as well. So for sure they are
Yeah, yeah. They had to change
having
up.
they yeah
Yeah,
difficulty also, because
yeah.
there's just nothing happening in terms of travel. Like I have another friend that he has a hotel, like a small budget hotel, and he hasn't decided yet, but I think he's deciding whether to just put his hotel on pause and then just wait it
Oh,
out. No, uh, and then I think a lot of people are going to do that because they have no choice. No, I'm curious. Do
that's
you have any
true.
other examples of like kind of these businesses like pivoting?
Yeah, yeah. Some interesting things I've seen, like you mentioned, parang a budget hotel. So instead of trying to sell their rooms, what they're actually doing now is sell their food tray or like their food business. That's where they're focusing on. So yung kitchen nila, they converted it into a cloud kitchen so that people can order online and then they send they accept orders online and then they send it over to delivery services just to reach people who want to taste their food despite the pandemic. So that's one thing that they're doing. And then another thing is like, for example, the retail business that we were helping. Instead of just doing mobile devices, they're also selling PPE related items.
Mm.
Kasi it's relevant right now, diba? So instead of talking to their suppliers and asking for like mobile related devices, they're now asking for like PPEs or like thermal scanners, masks, N95, so that we become relevant. That's one thing. And then another interesting thing that I've seen is yung related din siya sa travel industry. So, di ba merong mga buses or like coasters that are dedicated for visitors, di ba? So instead of just kasi wala na tayong mga tourists, 'di ba? So what they're doing is they're actually renting out these vans so that it will be used by those who are working right now, like the BPO companies.
Mm.
They're pretty much active. They're still working right now. So they've converted that into becoming like parang the service for these certain companies. So that's an example of how businesses are changing up their business models just to survive. I would say survive the pandemic. So yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said survive. I interviewed a few weeks ago si Meyan, Johan Young from Meyan Young kanang from Bubble Tea Station, and then she really did saying this year it's probably just about surviving this year because somebody put up a question in the chat and then asked about like when can they expect, you know when can they expect revenue to go back up, and then she really said nga, I don't know if you can expect that this year unless unless you happen to be at a certain industry that is built, that like a pharmacy or whatever, no kanang you're just you just have the thing that you sell just happens to match exactly what you need
Yeah.
in this pandemic. But aside from that, you
Yeah,
can
that's
probably
true.
just want to survive, no? And
Yeah.
so
That is the key word this year, I guess. It's survive.
lagi so kind of, do you have a sense of like the temperature of like of what these like business owners are feeling? No, I mean, I'm sure like revenues are dipping, uh like, or is it like just, are we still at the point where people don't really know what to do yet?
Well, what I see though is that it's pretty interesting because when I talked to one of my clients, I was asking him, okay, you're selling these items, they're not even related to your retail store. So he's trying to sell, I forgot what that is, like thermal scanners, let's say that, for
Mm.
example. So I was asking him, okay, how much are you going to sell this for? He said, okay, I'm going to sell it for this amount. And then he said, he added a note, he said, oh, kuan na gay ko gansi na gani ko ani because this is like, uh, I bought this for 500 pesos, but I'm selling it for 400. And I was like, why? Why would you even do that? You're selling a loss. And he said something like, it's okay because I'm having fun. So I think that is one thing that we can take a look at. The real entrepreneurs, the business owners who are trying to survive this pandemic are actually having fun. They're having fun going back to their roots. And when we say going back to their roots, it's really hustling in order to build up their businesses. So it goes back to, putting together a pandemic free or a pandemic proof business. So what are the things that you can sell right now that is pandemic proof? So they're going back to the roots and trying to build, to do product development, trying to do research. So everyone is back to square one, I would say. Parang ano tayo, clean slate tayo lahat ngayon. And the real entrepreneurs, they're surviving and they're having fun kasi they like this. Everyone is parang level off lahat. So I would say in the future, the businesses that survive this are those that are also having fun. I mean, it's weird to think that people can still have fun in a crisis like this, but if you are an entrepreneur at the core, you know how to survive this, and you know in your heart that you can find a way to really push through. Ika nga, they would say, we are in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat, diba? But we can also say something like, this storm, when everything is said and done, it would reveal who are the true entrepreneurs at their core. So hopefully, those businesses who are at the edge na, who are trying to survive, I really hope that we can push through with this, and we can, as long as bayanihan spirit. I don't want to be overly positive, but I know there are businesses that close, people who lost their jobs, but if you would look at it really, resilience nandiyan naman yan sa core ng Filipinos, 'di ba? We're really resilient people. So let's try to see how we can survive with this crisis.
No, I like that you mentioned kanang having fun. Like, um, you mentioned it's a weird thing to say considering what's happening today, no? But the truth is, like,
Oh.
for me, murag, I know at least for me, there are some challenges, of course, but the this murag, once we weren't on lockdown, all of a sudden I realized, okay, I have this big chunk of free time that I can use to somehow, figure something out, learn a new
Mm.
skill, or try to look at a different way to do business. And although I've been affected, but not enough nga it's debilitating, not enough nga murag I can't do anything, right? And
Mm.
so so this is an example of that. This podcast over Facebook Live. I never thought I'd be doing it live in my life. I never thought I'd be doing kanang you know like prior to the lockdown in my computer. So there's this camera here, diba? And then prior to
Yeah,
that,
that's
I
true.
had like a masking tape over the camera, and it was there for
I still have that.
years. And then yeah, I know. And now
Yeah, I
all
mean
these
things. Yeah,
valuable
yeah,
things in this,
yeah.
diba?
I agree with you
So,
because I'm
and I'm
also
sure,
very.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm camera allergic too. I agree with you. That's why just recently we've been doing like Facebook lives and webinar. I've just recently under.
Oh, she got cut off again. Struggling today with the internet. You guys should check out her website, Third Team Media. I will show it to here. Hi, Flair. Wait a second. Oh, cancel. Okay. Hi,
Yep,
Flair. I was just
I'm
gonna
here.
show your website on Third Team Media.
Yeah, yeah. Please, thank
No,
you.
yeah, but I had to figure it out. Oh, there. But
Oh my god. Mm-mm.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying, I forgot actually. what
Oh
was
yeah,
I
but like
what was I
you
going to say?
have to do different.
Ah,
So
yeah.
this is your
Oh,
website, 30 Media.
true.
So this is what you guys do. You're an award-winning social media and digital agency in Cebu. So what kind of like we're talking about the different things that yeah, like having fun. And having fun means discovering new things. What
True.
what what new way of working or some new thing that you guys started doing because of the pandemic and the lockdown?
Well, you know what? It was really a blessing because last year we decided to close down our office. You've been there, right? You've been at
Oh
our
yeah, yeah.
office. But we actually decided to close it down because everyone that I work with, which are mostly millennials, don't want to go to an office. They prefer working from home. They prefer remote work. So I decided, you know what? I mean, if these are the kind of people that we work with, why don't we just set up a work from home, which is going back to our core. Because when we started 30 Media, we were really a digital agency. We just recently got the office like 4 years back, but we started being a digital agency. We're working from home. We just explored having an office, and then now we're back to being a digital team. That's why I consider it a blessing. Because when the pandemic happened, I was like, oh my god, thank God that we were already working from home, so that I don't have to deal with trying to check my employees or whatever. But now, since we're working from home, we were really pandemic proof already. So we've already leveraged the technologies in working from home. So we've set up our tools. We've set up communicating online. So basically, we've been operating as a digital team, and these are things that um, you don't really what you call that immediately try to put together in just 2 months, which is why I admire the companies that have put together a digital team in just 2 months of the pandemic. So it's not easy, diba? You have to really put it in your teammates that okay, we're working from home, we're being remote. These are the things that we should use. These are the tools that we should use. This is how we should communicate. It has to be in their DNA to be remote workers, which is what we already are since the start. And that's why I say it's a blessing that we were already working from home even before this pandemic.
Quick question. So like actually working from home is an interesting topic for me, like remote work especially. So
Yeah,
you're managing people under you, right? And
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
okay,
So we're
so
a
a lot.
boutique agency. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, there's not a lot of people I manage also because I prefer to be hands-on with the clients, with the projects that I have. So it's not much of a problem having like a few people work with me on projects, and it's been pretty interesting to just be remote and be digital. So yeah, yeah.
No, but even if it's just one or two or three people, like managing a remote team or employee or whatever is a challenge in itself. No, it's like you don't want to. I think a lot of people, like, once they start talking about people who work from like bosses who have employees who are working from home, the challenge is, oh, I'm paying them, I should know what they're doing. How do
Oh my
i how
gosh,
do I keep track of all of that? um that is a real concern from a lot of people, right? So
that's
I
true.
don't know, is there a tool or a practice that you go to that makes kanang remote work or managing remote work a lot easier?
Wow, yeah, that's a really. I'd like to share what we are using right now. So, as a digital team, one thing that has really been helpful, number one is Slack. So,
Mm.
Slack is where parang ano namin, parang office namin. So, that's where everyone is. It's organized per project. And for every project that we have, nandun yung mga teammates. So, we get to chat kung ano yung mga tasks that we need to do for that. I know there's a separate project management tool, but we try to like prefer to work inside Slack itself kasi that's where we communicate. So, we try to do away from Messenger kasi Messenger is so bubot, di ba? I mean, you have your friends there, you have your family, and then suddenly there's work. So, which is weird. That's why we have Slack kasi everything is on Slack. So, in terms of communication, in terms of project
Oh,
management, we use Slack for that. Do you use Slack? Have you used it also with your team?
No, I don't. I don't use Slack. I don't. I haven't had the. I have like one employee, and she's basically an assistant. So
EA.
she doesn't. I don't need to do any sort of project management from her. But I think I hear what you're saying. Like the problem with Facebook is that there's everybody's there, and then there's also
True.
no real way to keep track. Like you can't really search on Facebook. Like let's say you talked about
Yeah.
something, and then how do
Yeah.
you know, how do you look back to all of that, right? So Slack is
I
a lot
know it's
easier for
hard.
that.
Yeah.
I've heard of
And
Slack of course.
yeah, yeah. Aside from Slack, actually, what we're using is we have a tool. If it's okay to mention, we have Content Dash,
Sure.
that app. So Content
Oh, okay.
Dash, yeah, this is like a tool that we developed together with our partner developer. So our partner developer, si Ian, we collaborated into putting together Content Dash, that app. Now, what is Content Dash? Content Dash is the summation of all my frustrations in 10 years of working with social media. Why? Because imagine working with several clients, with several teammates across several projects, and then all you have is a Google Sheet. So everything is on Google Sheet before. We had our creatives there, we have our captions, we have our themes, we have our calendar mostly. So content calendar nandun lahat sa Google Sheet. Now it's very frustrating to do that because imagine having everyone on that Google Sheet working together in one certain item just to post an update on a client's page. So very confusing. Now, like I said, there could be a better way to do this. I mean, if you have WordPress for a CMS, for your blog post, for your updates, maybe we can create a CMS also for social media. So that's what we did with Content Dash. We created a CMS. So it's a content management system wherein there we collaborate with the updates. So for example, if I want a certain update for Friday, which is Independence Day, I would go to Content Dash, I would go to a project, and then I would create an instruction for my team. So I would say something like, but it's in a calendar format ha, so naka-calendar siya. So I would say like, okay, June 12, I want to see an Independence Day update related to this certain client. Okay, so make that update. So now my team would go there, they're gonna see my instructions. And then what they're going to do next is to, if they are the graphics designer, they just go there and take a look at the instructions. So they put together the graphics and then upload it. And then if I have a writer, she's going to take a look at that instruction. She's going to see the creative, and then she's going to type in the caption for posting there. So now, once that's said and done, nandun na yung creatives, nandun na yung caption, the instructions are being put together. The next thing to do is to actually send it to the client, diba? Because they want to see the update. They want to see and
Mm.
approve it, diba? So, so isend mo siya sa client. You just click share, and then you send it to your client, and you tell them, okay, I have an update for tomorrow for Independence Day. Can you approve this one? So they're gonna just click that link, and then it's gonna open up. Parang Facebook yung itsura niya. So nandun yung caption, nandun yung graphics, and then the client's gonna see, okay, this is what it's gonna look like once it's scheduled on Facebook. So they're
What's
gonna
the
say, okay, this is approved. Oh,
what's the
yeah,
website for this?
yeah, it's content dash that app.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
it's this one. This one. Money, money.
Yes.
Ah, that's cool. So you guys developed this?
Yep. Yes, it's a local Philippine-made homegrown startup.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a good
I'll
thing
give
that you
this.
showed it here kasi we have a free account for this. So if there are social media managers here or content creators who want a content management system for their updates, I mean, even ikaw, Carlo, you can use this to calendar your podcasts. Like if you have guests for next week, you can uh, an entry on Content Dash para makita mo yung ano yung mangyayari in the next few weeks.
Oh, I'll
And
give
then
this
in
a look.
your yeah, yeah, there's a free account. So we have one project for the free account. But then for those who want to go a higher level, there's a solo account and then a team account. So we can grow if you want to grow also. But merong free, so you can try it out.
So the
This is
free is like
perfect for
kanang
content creators.
when you say one
Uh,
account, what do you mean by one? So the free is one account, meaning
yes,
what does
one
that mean?
project.
One project?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are
Mm.
an agency, of course, you're managing several projects, diba? So you can
Yes,
get
yes.
the team account and then you can put in several projects. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, the whole like I know that remote work
Yeah.
is very it can be very challenging for a lot of people. I remember that my wife before, so she used to do remote work. She used to work
It is.
in a company, and then she would do remote work. And then the one of the problems with the remote work when she was doing it was that sometimes she and her colleague will call in, and then but everybody else in the call is in a room, physically in the room. So it's like her and her colleague, like duhara sila on a laptop or whatever, and then everybody else, like eight people, in the actual physical room, and then that's actually a
Oh.
mistake, because what's gonna
Oh.
happen is
Oh.
the person that's on the laptop, the one that's calling in, well, now they're ignored. It's very hard for them to contribute to the meeting. No, it's one
Yeah.
of
I
those.
mean, set up like
It's
that.
weird, but like you wouldn't. Yeah, and then
Mm-mm.
that's really like a
Yeah. That.
social thing. Like kanang
That's true.
it's not a technological thing, but it's a social thing. Like and then little things like that are if you haven't done remote work, it's not you wouldn't have been able to think about that before. I know that there's a book called Remote by the guys who did 37 Signals. I think his name's Jason Fried. I
Ah.
forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've heard of
Yeah,
that. Mm-mm.
it's a really good book about remote work, and I think now more than ever, it's probably you know it's probably very 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 relevant at this point. No,
It
uh,
is. It is. Pretty
yeah,
much. Pretty much. Yes.
yeah. We've been
Yeah.
talking for oh, go. You had
Yeah. I
something.
mean, I guess. Yeah. I guess what you're trying to say is that the challenge with remote work is pretty much there, especially when you're not used to being in this whole setup where you are at home, you are distracted by a lot of things, and I understand it's quite a challenge, and it takes a lot of getting used to. That's why I was really hoping we can get used to the quarantine, because as an introvert myself, I find this very comforting that I'm just at home. I have anxiety attacks whenever clients call me for a meeting, to be honest. Because I would say something like, okay, can we just do it in a call? Can we just do it in a Zoom? I mean, I prefer this setup, to be honest. Like, you're just
Mm,
here, your goal is to really service your clients, so why not just be in your laptop in front of your computer and just help them with their digital marketing? But then, traditional business owners, they want to see you, they want to meet you up, but hopefully with this pandemic, we get used to remote work, we get used to collaborating online, and we get used to all the tools that we have right now in order to be more productive and stay away from Cebu traffic.
yeah. Um. So, Flair, we've been talking for about an hour. I wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about homeschooling. Like, so you mentioned homeschooling, Magud, in our chat, no? Is that something that you guys have been doing for a while?
Yeah, oo.
Because I
Yeah,
suspect.
actually, my kid has been homeschooled since birth.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because like that's something
Talaga.
that yeah, because that's something that me and my wife, we've only started doing that pag lockdown because we have no choice, no. And are you still there? Hello, are you still there? Okay, because we had so
Yeah,
we
I'm
kind of
here. The
okay.
families
Uh,
are. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so the so we started homeschooling the kids, and that's something I wanted to talk to you about, because I think for parents
Right.
now, in
Mm-mm.
the unless there's a vaccine or treatment or whatever, it's foreseeable that in the next year or so, we probably will not have any choice but to homeschool uh the kids, no? Um I don't know, is
Right.
there anything that you can
Yeah.
say
If I
about
could
like
ask, what
go?
curriculum did you purchase? I mean, did you sign them up with a homeschool?
No, so what happened was they were going to school, and then of course when the whole pandemic happened, then obviously the schools closed, but the schools had to very quickly evolve and come up with
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
sort of uh, homeschooling curriculum. And then you don't blame them if
Right.
they're not meant to do that pa ba. right? They don't know how to
Yeah,
do home.
true. Yeah.
They're not structured that way. So there was a lot of scrambling. So we don't blame anybody, but
Yeah, yeah.
so right now, actually, for the next school year, we don't really know. We haven't made a decision yet on what to do in terms of. I don't know. I didn't even know that there was something that you can purchase. Did you say you? What was your question? We did not purchase
Yeah, well,
anything.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting kasi this is one thing that I would share kasi we're homeschooled David, my kid. We homeschooled him since birth up until 4th grade. Now, when he was in 5th grade, we decided to I think sorry, when he was in 4th grade, we decided to put him in a regular school because I decided now, okay, I'm pretty much busy with the business. I might not have time to really like be hands on with his schooling. So we decided to turn him over to the regular school. But during that time, when we were doing homeschooling, how we did it was really to purchase like a boxed curriculum. So all materials were there, the books, the manuals, the instructions. What else? The hands on materials. Everything was there inside a box. And we purchased this from a school called Calvert Homeschool. This is a Maryland based, US based school. So we purchased that. Imagine we flew it in from the US because homeschooling was pretty much unknown back then. But when I tried to interview a school locally, sabi ko, okay, we want to see how you're going to handle my 4-year-old kid or like 5-year kid. That was back then. And then when I saw the setting, I was like, "Oh my God, he is too young for this. Why would I put him in a regular school?" So I decided na, okay, I was working from home back then. Why don't I also homeschool him on the side? Which is what happened to us since birth. So from I think he was 5 years old up until 3rd grade, 4th grade. We were homeschooling him, talagang hands on, and it was. I'm pretty much proud to say that I taught my kid how to read and how to write. This is really like parang huge break for me as a homeschooling parent kasi it gives you that pride ba na ikaw ang nag-teach sa imong kid how to do all these things. So yeah, we started with a boxed curriculum. It was from the US, but right now I see that there are a lot of options already online. So if people or like if parents like you want to take a look at homeschooling options, there are a lot of groups right now that sprawled up because of the pandemic, and they wanted to see what the things are that they could do if they want to homeschool from home. Now, one interesting thing is that even the schools right now they're trying to evolve and then trying to see if they can offer some sort of distance learning option for their students. So one example is parang local school namin here in Lapu-Lapu. They have something like a homeschool setup. Curriculum, you get items, and then you get to talk to the teacher thereafter after at the end of the week. And then all these things together, this distance learning, these options for homeschooling, it's something that's also a bit challenging. Same with remote work, but it's something that we have to learn how to do because digital na tayo. It's a digital age. So hopefully you can find the right homeschooling option for you and your kids, Carlo.
So how do you? I feel like that's out there. No, the thing for me is like, how do you balance all that with like your regular work? Like for us right now, what you get what I'm saying? Like so what we've been doing, it's technically summer for them, but we just decided, you know what, we'll just try to
Oh my
come up
gosh.
with stuff for
Yes.
them to do. So our
Yeah.
routine so far is in the morning, we wake up, we have breakfast. Anyway, we're home anyway, no? So we
Mm.
wake up, have breakfast, and then we do some sort of homeschool activity, which credit full credit to my wife. She just found something and put it all together and you know
Yeah. Yeah.
and then on some days she tells me what to do and I just execute. No? Um
Yeah.
so so we do that in the morning and then hopefully we're done like a little bit before lunch. We have lunch and then in the afternoon is when we actually get to do uh some sort of work, like in our case this interview. Even before
Yeah.
this interview was able to do some work, but like of course, like having the kids around. Also, a good example is this interview. So like they come in and out. Um, Kana ba? So how do you manage that?
Yeah, I was actually asked that question. I mean, given that I'm also running this small boutique agency that I have, serving clients, what actually helped with me is similar to what you and Stephanie have been doing. It's really more of collaborating with your spouse, especially if
Mm.
you have a spouse, no, on how to really manage your schedule. So it's time management and managing your schedule. What you're doing right now with setting up a set time to do homeschooling and then doing work, it's actually very helpful, and that's how I also did it. It's more of balancing it out. And what really stood out for me that became helpful was my husband, because he's also very supportive of all the crazy ideas that I have. Homeschooling was one of my crazy ideas, and then he was like, "Okay, let's go, let's try it out." So it worked out for us because he was really supportive, and I think for you to be able to do homeschooling and work successfully is to do yeah, the same thing. It's like balancing it out with your spouse. So maybe like if you are doing the homeschooling with your kids, your wife is also working, and then if she's with the kids and you're the one who's working, yung parang ganon. So that also helped with us, and it's really balancing your time. And also for homeschooling, we don't really do it 8 hours, because that's what you do in a regular school. You do it 8 hours, diba? That's how they work with our kids. It's like parang having a yaya for all the 8 hours. But
Yeah,
when
but
you're homeschooling, yeah,
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 the eight.
um,
That's not really 8 hours. That's like that's because you know what it is. Like if you work in a company, they let you work for 8 hours, but you're not working for 8 hours, right?
that's
You're
true. That's true. That's
you're
true.
you're talking to the person beside you. You're in the water cooler. Talking about
Yeah,
sports. Um, Real work is a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think you know where I'm going with this, right? Like when you're in school, there's like it's 8 hours, but like 30 minutes is national anthem. uh an hour of maybe accumulated 1 hour worth of like just lining up and putting your hands on the other person's
I know,
shoulder.
right? That's
It's
so true. Well, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, that's the point, diba? I mean, we have all these set schedules for for at home work, and then we have this set schedule for working in a regular company, and then we have this schedule for doing the education work with our kids. But if you really put that together and balance it out, you don't really have to spend 8 hours. You just really have to be smart with your time, Jud. Oo. Ano ra jud na siya. It's really balancing your time. Kaya kung di ka kabalo mo balance sa imong time and, figure out asa ang best productive time. Like, I'm not productive 8 hours in a day, di ba? Like, there are certain times in my day where I really work na parang focused work, di ba? So we have that term focused work. My focused work
yeah.
time is really around, like, let's say, um, 11 o'clock in the evening up to 1 a.m. So that's where I focus my work. So no one gets to disturb me during this time because my kid is asleep, di ba? Or like everyone, it's very quiet all around. So I get to be focused with my work. So maybe when you're doing homeschooling plus also working from home, find that slot in your schedule where you get to do focused work, because that's the secret really in being able to manage this. What are your set times for homeschooling? And then what is your set time for focused work? I guess that would help. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it also. One of the things that like obviously your kid, so you're, let's say you have your homeschool, it's in the morning, whatever it is, no?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
during the rest of the day, your kid has found a way to learn by himself. Like he
that's
is,
true. That's
yeah,
true.
like he's doing a freaking webinar on how to publish a book on Amazon. Like, and
Yes.
obviously
Yep. Mm.
he's obviously uh
He has
he's
learned it. He has
yeah,
also
like
learned how to manage his
he's
time. Mm.
motivated and he wants to learn, and I think that's the most important thing. Like one of the I'm sorry, I can rant magod about traditional schools. Okay, one of the problems with traditional schools is that they don't motivate you to learn. So they think na more learning na known is a slog, like it's kapoy kaayo and ana. And then what I realized after going to school is that everybody innately wants to learn. It's just that they have to figure out what they want to learn exactly. Like math might not be for you, but it could be this other totally different thing that will
That's true.
interest you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to focus on what your kids' interests are. Like when we were doing Calvert homeschooling, I mentioned, diba, na parang there's a box curriculum, they give you a manual, everything is there. Like day one, this is what you're going to discuss. Day two, this is what you're going to do. But you're homeschooling, so of course you can play around, diba? You might want to do day five today, and then the next day you might want to do day one. So that's the beauty of homeschooling because you can mix it up. You don't necessarily have to follow every single line item as long as you get the gist. Now, if your kid is interested, let's say, in science more than math, then you try to discover with him what his interests are. So parang focus on that subject na saan yung interest niya, but also make sure to pepper it with the items that na-mention dun sa course. Because what you really want to do is to follow, but you also want to focus kung saan siya interested. That's the real beauty of homeschooling.
Oops, got cut off again. Yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this Facebook Live. I'm sure Flair will be here really quickly.
Yes.
There
Oh.
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, that's up to good now. You let them figure it out. Like I was just gonna saying, like my 2 year old. At first, me and my wife were a bit worried, kay, when my firstborn, I think the alphabet came easy to him, so he started doing the alphabet really early. And then my 2 year old
Wow.
until now, my 2 year old can't do it. So we're like, oh, I
Oh.
guess he's just what he just doesn't know how to do the alphabet. But then we realized he has like a grabby young interest on dinosaurs. So he knows all
Wow.
of these dinosaurs. They just once they watch YouTube, it's amazing what they can learn. You know, okay, like I
Gen
mean, like
Z's,
when
right?
yeah, like he knows these dinosaurs that my wife and I have no idea what they are. Good. So like, what dinosaur? Then he goes like Magmosaurus or whatever it is. I'm like, okay. Then I search it on my phone and like, oh, he's right. It's a real dinosaur. What does this dinosaur do? It goes swimming. It's a big dinosaur. Like, oh, okay. And
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, I mean, similar to your kid, they have their own pace, no? So we don't force them to focus on a certain topic that they're not interested in. Now, let's say your kid is interested with dinosaurs, like what you said. Maybe you can say something, okay, learn the alphabet. What's T? T is for Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yung mga ganon. So you mix it up, you try to connect yung interest niya into what you want to teach them. So that's how it worked for us. And there are a variety of ways. One of it that really worked for us is travel. So we travel around. We not just like international, no. We didn't do that when he was young, but parang local travel. You go to libraries, you go to different locations, and like try to connect your subject, like your current homeschooling item, yung subject niya. Try to connect it with what you're currently doing, so that it becomes relevant dun sa curriculum that you have. So that's how it worked for us.
mm. Well, Flair, thank you so much for taking the time to do this
Yes, thank
interview. Huh?
you. No,
Yeah,
and
I'm
apologies
glad.
for the connection. It's really weird.
Oh, it's okay. It's one of the downfalls of this medium, unfortunately. No. Where can people find
That's
you
true.
on the internet if they want to look you up
Yes.
and maybe do that
Yeah.
e-commerce entrepreneurial e-commerce entrepreneur
Yes.
summit?
All right, thank you. So if you want to get in touch with me, you want to ask more questions about social media or homeschooling or remote work, you can find me on Facebook. So you can search for Fleire Castro, Fleire Castro. So search me up and then add me, and we can be friends. Or you can go to my website at flairecastro.com. That's my personal website. That's my consulting website. Or you can go to my team website at thirdteam.org. That's thirdteam.org. And about the e-commerce summit, yes, we have an ongoing summit right now. Every Friday of June, June, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., we are hosting several learning sessions for entrepreneurs to understand how to leverage e-commerce and technologies for their business. So if you are interested in the e-commerce entrepreneur summit, please head to bit.ly.com/ecom summit Cebu. Thank you so much, Carlo, for having me.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for taking the time, Flair.
Lamat.
Okay,
Yes,
see you.
definitely. For you, why not? Thank you.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.